Have you ever heard of the Zorn palette? Well, today we're going to explore and challenge ourselves to make a painting using the Zorn palette. Now, the Zorn palette is a palette made by Anders Zorn, who's a Swedish painter between 1860 and 1920. The colors that he used were titanium white, yellow ochre, cadmium red light. I think this is carmine red because I didn't have cadmium red light, and ivory black. The idea is that you can create a variety of colors in this limited palette to create some really cool colors. So let's get started by a little swatching. Okay, so I put all the four colors down here. We're just going to start with the red going into the yellow. So I'm usually a very messy swatcher, so we're trying to make this a little less me. So this is about 50-50 right here. I'll put that one right in the middle. You can see we get a really nice orange. Let's add a bit more red to that mix. I usually always like to start off with the mix first. Let's add in more yellow than red. Okay, that feels very neutral still. Let's add more yellow. Let's turn our attention to adding in black into the yellow. This one's probably not going to be 50-50 because you're going to get, at 50-50, you're going to get probably, it's still going to be pretty dark. So this is the yellow and the black. Nice green there. If we keep adding yellow to it, we're probably going to get, well, this ivory black is not terribly blue. I was hoping it would be a little bit more on the blue side. Let's add a little bit more black to that. And you can see that there is no blue in this palette. The blue is black, which is sort of weird. I know, it's sort of crazy. So those are our black leaning. Could we add more black? Let's add just a little bit more black. I think we can get a little. Trying to get more of a green through here. Here we go. That's a nice color. I think I might have done those the wrong way. I think those are supposed to go over there. I am the worst swatcher. I'm terrible. I'm absolutely the worst. Because normally I just throw them down on paper and just kind of play. Organized swatching is not my forte. Yeah, those need to go over there. So ignore that. Trina error. Let's see what happens when we mix some white in, though. To kind of, now that we've messed up our swatch completely, let's just go all in. So, quick tip, when you're adding white to something, add a little bit of the color into the white to keep you from going. If you keep adding white to the dark color, you're never going to get there. You can see that's a little bit more gray. That's kind of nice. If we keep adding black to it, we're going to just get more of these gray tones. We could also add in some of our other mixes here. Let's add some of this. And we've gone completely off the rails because I am a terrible swatcher. I just like to put down colors. At least this will kind of give me some idea because normally I'm just like, what? I just make colors and then try to remember how I made them. Ooh, this is nice. This is a nice like skin tone color, like a little light pink. So I tried this yesterday with watercolor. We mixed a little ochre in there. It worked, but I was missing all of these colors because there's obviously, I don't like white watercolor. I don't really think it does much. I could have added some gouache, but I didn't do that. What happens if we add just some of this? Probably get like a more peachy color. And then of course we can add can add some black to that. And it's going to give us even a more brown color, which is lovely. So I'm loving these colors. So that's nice. So you can kind of see how you might be able to get some really, this is just going to be a really light peachy color. Let's put this one up here. That one's nice. We add a little bit of black to that. I'm going to get like a, something in this range, sort of a beige color, but still nice, a nice warm gray. Let's add in some bit of red to that. That's a nice color. What if we added some, do we make this color already? That one's pretty similar. We done enough red. We haven't done a lot of red. Let's add more red. What if we got more into that orange? Added some black. And not that much black. That's probably going to give us a fun brown. And we could add some more white. Yeah, green is going to be hard because we have a limited, we've got these. So yeah, the greens are going to be limited to almost gray because we don't have a lot of, we don't have that blue to give us green except a little bit of blue that's in the ivory black. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge. Let's add some white to that. But we're going to try anyway. We're going to try to make a landscape from these colors. Let's explore red a little bit more. We didn't really do a lot of red. There's got to be some variations. We've got that light pink, so we can add in, we can make a pink. We can add in a little bit of yellow ochre and give it, ooh, that's a fun color. Like a salmon color. Yeah, we didn't really explore these pinks, did we? And of course we can just keep adding a little bit more in to make these subtle variants of the gouache. You could use oil paint for this. You could use acrylic. I just kind of want to play more with the gouache. I'm liking, what if we added more of that black to this? What's that going to do? Ooh, that's kind of fun. That's almost like a purple. Interesting. We kind of have that color up there. That's giving very purpley vibes, which it might be. I'm kind of excited. I don't really like purple, but I like those weird purples. Like, I don't like true ultramarine red purples, but I really like, I kind of like these sort of purpley colors that you can get. Purpley. Yeah, I just made that up. I say purple a lot. My grandmother used to have a car that was kind of purpley. It's like brown but purple. So purple has been in my lexicon for a minute. What do we think about? That's almost like a taupe. Let's see if we can make like, a more purpley color. Okay, here we go. This is kind of interesting. There we go. What about that? That's very vibrant. What if we added just a little bit more? So you can see it went really almost purple, mauve colored. Like, that's a really nice color. And that was just the black, the ivory black, and the carmine. And I will tell you that if you try this, It's really going to depend on the red. The red is the most, you can change that red to a more, you can see this red is very cool. If you changed it to something that was more warm, like a scarlet or something like that, you're going to end up with a completely different palette. Okay, here we went into some almost purpley maroons. What if we added, I could do this all day, just a little bit of the yellow. Oh, that's going to be really hideous. Okay, that's ugly. Okay, we're going to stop there. The best thing about this palette is that because we're only using these colors, look how all the colors go together. It doesn't matter what you pick. Like that could go with that could go with that, because they're all based on each other. So that makes it really easy when you're starting out trying to mix colors, because it can be overwhelming. And then we go out and buy like all these tubes of specialty paint when we really, I mean, we just did that with two colors, black and white, really. And we made some really fun colors. Like, play with your colors. I encourage you to play with your colors. Okay, let's make something. Okay, so let's start with some marks, as we normally do. I kind of want this to be like a, I think I want it to come through here and come down through here and come back through here. That's my goal. I'm trying to set goals now because I can get a little crazy with making marks. But this is just the Pit Pastel oil-based pencil. It's good for watercolor because it doesn't really make, it makes bold marks, but it doesn't really, it doesn't lift. And I love it for watercolor. So looking at our palette here, I think I want to go with a little bit of gray and maybe put some of these pinks and yellows in there, since we don't really have a true blue. I don't want the sky to be like all boring gray. So let's try that. Okay, these first layers are going to be very light watercolor. So I spritzed my paper down. Okay, I want more white than that. I'm just going to mix it right here on the page. Big marks. Don't be scared to use a big brush. I like this peachy color. Let's put that in there. I'm just going to kind of use what I already mixed. I feel like that's a good way to go about it, maybe. Just sort of mix it as we go along, because that's where the fun happens, when we just sort of play with our colors. Don't get too bogged down and, you know, what you have to do. Just do. So I kind of want this to be more of a, I'm thinking more in the greens. Let's turn it the right way. So the greens and maybe the reds. But let's start with some light greens. Okay, let's just put like a little bit. I really want these to be more wash. I love that sky. I kind of killed it on that sky. Okay, I mix up a little bit of ochre into that. Into that mix that we had before. Just keep adding color and see what we get. Maybe we should put some of that gray down there to kind of bring in some of that. Bring in some of those cool tones so they're kind of not all at the top. I kind of want them to blend a little better than that. Yes, I like that. Okay, so I mixed up a little bit of the green here with some white. I thought that was going to be much lighter. It needs to be lighter. Lighter. Get that pretty light going through there. Okay. I just kind of wanted some colors coming through here like that. Maybe more of the green. I kind of wanted to get lighter as we go down. I did switch to a smaller brush, so I don't want it to be all the same marks. I kind of like that. That's nice. What if it were a little bit, do we want to get, I think I wanted to get even. So I kind of like it light like that, but I kind of want to gradually build in some more of these darker colors through here. Maybe not all the way through. I don't know. I like how dark that is though. And I like the little white bits that are coming through. Put that line there. Don't know if I love it. Need some more brush marks. Okay, so I mixed up a little bit of the carmine red with the ochre and some black. I thought we might need just a little, it's almost like a burnt sienna. Actually, it's kind of like a, more like a golden, like a reddish ochre, maybe. That's really pretty. I like that color. What if we just made it kind of come back like through here? Kind of lead our eye back this way a little bit. And get it a little bit more bold down here. I might want to come in with my palette knife. Make some marks. Oh, I forgot that I am working on cold press watercolor paper today. I forgot that part. So here I've added in a little bit of this green that was up here into this color. And now we've got this color green. That's good. We're making progress. I like how it's gone from light to dark. I love the tones of this. Like it feels very pastoral to me. And I like that. I kind of wanted to put some like little tree-like shapes back here. I'm feeling very pastoral today. I never put these types of things in my work, but it feels like it feels like it needs it, don't you think? Like it feels like it needs something back there on the horizon, just kind of hanging out, doing its thing. What if we added even, if we made it a little darker down here at the bottom a little bit? I can get behind that. Let's bring in a little bit of this peach color that we put up here. I might need, oh, I'm not going to fuss with the sky. I almost did something really bad there. I have a rule. It's not a hard, fast rule, but I tend to not mess with my skies because once I get them down, like if I go back up there and try to add something, I'm just going to muck it up. Like you would not believe. It would be bad. So I have to keep myself honest over here. I like how subtle that is, but it might need to be, it might need some darks through here. Kind of really make that pop a little bit. I don't know what we're doing. I'm just kind of making marks. It's good. Okay, so I think we need to add some of this purpley color in here. I'm thinking I want it to come like right through here. Get a little fat and come through there. Ooh. Me likey that line. Let's do another one. Okay, so I think I just want to continue it right through there. And maybe make it a little bit better. I was going to come this way, but I think I like it just through there. And I kind of like how that's little, it's not perfect through there. That color is fabulous. What if we added just a little touch of it up here at the top. Kind of bring it in a little bit. So I want to add a little bit of this pinky color up here. And then just some like highlights maybe. I didn't mean to do that, but that's okay. I decided I wanted more green through here. Less purple and more green. I think that purple works with that green. But I wanted more bold green. I want some of that purpley color to show through. But I think if we have more of a, I like how dark it is. I think that orange is working for me. I'm going to leave it. I kind of like it. Let's paint some. I think we need more lines coming this way. So we're going to start with the Soloway Blue, the Yellow Ochre, and the Olive Earth that are well within our palette. Maybe the blue is a little outside, but it's kind of close than what we made up there. Pretty close to that gray color. These are the Derwent drawing pencils. I'm going to try really hard not to overdo this. I just want to add in some marks to, oh, there's a little red on there. Just a little bit of definition into these, into some of these areas. I was going to use the Caran d'Ache, the Neo colors. But I felt like they weren't really good matches, I thought. I think these are better. Let's add in, and like the palette, I'm only going to stick with these three colors, I think. I don't think I'm going to add any other colors. I just want to add some marks. You know how much I love marks. I love marks. Okay, let's add a bit more of this. I don't really want a whole lot of that blue. Let's add in some marks coming through here. I am going to add some Caran d'Ache black marks though, because we definitely need some black marks in here. And don't be afraid to go over your color that you made there. What we want is dynamic. Don't want stagnant. And this is where coming in, practicing your mark making is a really good plan. Yeah, I don't know how much, I don't know that I want a whole lot of this. Okay, let's add in some black marks here with our lovely. I kind of like what's going on here, but I think it might need a little bit of a dark line. Let's add marks coming through here. And I want to do some sketchy marks. This one felt like it needed sketchy marks, and we haven't made sketchy marks in a long time. I kind of put them on the back burner for a while, so I felt like I was using them too much. But sometimes you got to bring them back, right? And sometimes you got to just make some marks because it's fun to scribble. It really does do a good job of defining the space. I know it looks like I'm randomly doing this, and I kind of am. Okay, let's look at this with a map. Okay, things I love. I love the sky. I don't know why I've never put orange peachy color in my sky before, but I really love it. I like the little bits of sort of tree line that we put in there. And that pink is actually really nice. Really love this purple color here. And I really like the palette. Like, I think the palette for me it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I mean, I love the pinks and the yellows and the oranges and this just a little bit of purpley maroon color through there is really striking to me. And it kind of just moves you through. I think I did a really good job on my atmospheric perspective today by keeping things in the back room light and then darker, bolder things happening up here in the front. And kind of just bringing, you know, the colors down into bold, into light. I think it has a really good sense of light about it. I think I could push it a little harder if I wanted to make more light. But I really like how this turned out. I really love these sketchy marks down here. I think those are really nice. And these little lines through here, all the little bits going through. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is this something that you would try? Would you try the Zorn palette? I'm definitely going to say yes, and I definitely want to explore this further. We got some really amazing colors, I think. I could see how this would be good for portraits. I'm not a portrait person. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next week with another video. Thanks so much. Bye.